We are here. It's Wednesday night. Spittin with Spitter. I'm your host, TJ Smith. I'm not doing the host shit tonight. This is not a fucking interview. There goes the monetization, dropping the F word in the first 30 seconds. Let me shout out my sponsors real quick, man, real fast. For all your vaping needs, go to Lehigh Vape. They're located at 822 Nazareth Pike. They have everything from hardware to juices, anything you can need as far as vaping goes. Go there, tell them TJ sent you. And for all your pest control needs, go to wall-to-wall.pestcontrol.services. Holla at my guy Chuck Rockmore. He'll take care of you, man. As far as bugs, bees, rats, mice, all that, contact Chuck Rockmore. He's on Facebook. He's on here. Yeah, I mean, go check him out. And now for my guest, Split. How long I known you?
Hey, it's been a little grip, man. It's been a
grip.
I think we're pushing 10 years, probably close, right?
Yeah.
Probably getting there. You know, when the shows really started jumping in Allentown, all that 6-1 only shit, right? And yeah.
My guest, Split D, Geoff DiVittorio. What up, boy?
What up, my friend? How's things in Phillipsburg?
I'm not in Phillipsburg anymore.
Oh no. See, that's fucked up. We're missing connections already, bro. We gotta stay on top of this.
I had to move out to the country, man. I'm in Pennsylvania now. I'm not gonna put my location out there. But
right.
I don't really got any neighbors. It's nice.
That's better.
Yes.
That's better.
Yes,
that's better for sure, better. Dog. Yeah.
For sure. But I want to start at the beginning of this conversation, like super dope tattoo artist, super dope MC. I don't think there's anything you ain't touched that ain't been fire. So let's start with
that so much.
Yeah, man, we've been rocking for a long time, bro.
Yeah.
For a long time. You have you had dreads and I didn't have hair. Now I have long ass hair and you don't have the dreads anymore.
No, man, my shit was getting too heavy. It was hurting my neck, bro. I couldn't carry that shit around anymore.
That's crazy.
I couldn't carry it. Yeah. Plus, I was getting a little sick of it, man. Like, it's fun for a while. Like, you know me and the weed, right? So it wasn't.
He said, you know me and the weed.
We have a relationship, right? Right. So it didn't bother me when I was young. Let me see. I probably started those when I was 25, 26, right? And it never bothered me that anybody like I'll wear that shit on my sleeve. I smoke wherever. It's like it doesn't even like register to me that it's an odd thing most of the time. But the longer I had those, and the more I guess the older I got too, right? It just started bothering me that it was like obvious. Like I couldn't stand around certain people who like without like it's like, oh, you instantly know I'm a weed head. And now to some people anyway, I've lost some respect in the conversation before it even starts. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's not such a big deal in the artist world, of course, whether it be tattooing or any of that shit. But you know, I walked into a like a little neighborhood meeting over there on the east side in Allentown where my shop was. There was graffiti up on the wall in the alley on the side of my shop. And it had changed a couple times, and then like out of nowhere, seemingly, like the wall popped up on like in the newspaper. There was like pictures of it, and I read the thing, and it was like, you know, somebody from the neighborhood association, like at the church, the local one, had gone to City Hall because there were complaints about murals. Not even my mural. There was just complaints about murals on the east side and like graffiti, and they didn't know the difference. And I took offense to that. It was like, damn, like you were out here taking pictures of my wall. You didn't like walk around to the front and like come in and speak to me. Like it felt weird. And then you took that shit to City Hall.
Nothing.
Yeah, like so like I don't know. Like they made an enemy of me before there was ever any, you know. So long story short, I walked into their meeting once that they had at the church. Dreads, wolf and beard, like I really looked fucking crazy.
Right.
And I like passed out fucking printouts of artwork and printouts of graffiti, and I like lectured these assholes. You know what I'm saying? And I know they weren't expecting what I put on them because I made them feel like shit, like 100%. But I guess part of me felt like I had to go that much harder, like because of how I looked. It's like, yo, you're not gonna make me look like shit or feel like shit or diminish whatever I'm doing over here. Like it's not
Right.
yeah. And then to do it from a distance on top of that, it's like
And we get it
cowardly.
all the time. Like I'll go into a business meeting and they'll see, and I'm fully covered with tattoos.
Yeah.
And it's already the prejudgment until I start talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna shut you down with every bit of logic, and then what are you gonna say?
Right. Right.
We got comments coming in. My brother Joe, brother from another mother. We got Ashley Camp coming in. Is that one of your peoples?
Hey-oh, yeah,
Heyo.
Shlee. For sure. Shlee's getting tattooed. Yeah, she's getting tattooed while I'm out here for sure. We're doing a big old chest piece, a bunch of filigree, a nice little gem in there too. We're gonna hook Shlee up. Shlee is actually the reason that I have the relationship here in Nevada that I do. It's all from Ashley. Yeah. She got me out here tattooing people. I made some incredible friends out here too, man. I love this place.
So we're gonna get to the traveler. I want to start at the beginning though, like
okay,
before we hop in the van and take that ride.
All right.
How old were you when you knew of like? Because I hate the question. How old were you when you started rapping? Right? Like I don't fucking know. I've just been playing with words my whole life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, when do you feel like that artistic creativity was like something you were very good at?
I don't. It's really tough because like rap wasn't the only music in my life, obviously, as a kid, you know what I'm saying? Like I grew up on it never is. I grew up on classic rock, and I found friends that were super into punk rock, and my cousins, actually, when I would be over in Phillipsburg hanging with my cousins, it was like Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and Wu-Tang. Like that was like the dipping my toes in, right? As a kid. But then like really the getting involved in making hip hop came at the same time as getting involved in learning how to tattoo. Like I learned how to tattoo at a spot called Center City in Allentown. My mentor, Brooklyn Payne, RIP. That dude.
Rest in peace to Payne, man. It's
Rest
one of the
peace.
great ones that I truly miss all the time.
Yeah, I super miss him, bro. I super miss him. Yeah. That dude had a really, really good heart, and he was an excellent teacher. You know what I'm saying? I learned. I think we learned from each other too. You know, which was not something I realized. You know, until I'm looking back, it's like, wow, like that motherfucker changed over the course of our relationship, just like I did. You know, yeah. I think we worked well together, man. And that dude was fucking family to me. His family's still family to me, you know. But he had a rap group called Center City, and he was all about that juggalo life, right? So it was him, it was DJ Payne, it was Big Red, and it was DOA, Dead on Arrival. Ayo, Tristan. Gotta shout out the dude. Yeah, so they were all recording in the tattoo shop. They had a little vocal booth and a computer set up, and later on, that evolved into a better studio that this kid Double E brought in. He kind of became the engineer. I think he was dabbling in tattooing a little bit, but he most of the studio equipment that was there near the end, that was like his shit. Um, and so I was interested in making music, not necessarily rapping, but and I love technology too. I've got into technology pretty early, and I vibe with it well enough. So the engineering aspect and recording people, I was super interested in that. I was interested in making beats too, because he was on, like, as far as I was concerned at that time, that dude was making some fly fucking music, you know, and it was like effortless to him, and I was kind of in awe. Um,
Right.
and then so I recorded a lot of people there. I met a lot of people for the first time there, and I also met a lot of people that were like garbage, and it kind of made me feel that like, oh, I could at least be that good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like you're doing show, like that looks like fun. I'm coming to see people who I've recorded, and like, yo, man, this looks like a good time. And you know what? This tattoo and shit is taking a while. It looks like I'm gonna be here, so I might as well dive into that too. So I started writing. There was another dude, Kingpin. He was around a lot. He was making beats in there. Um, Me and Double E and KP, we all were doing shows together at Croc Rock. We had solo music. We had songs together. It was just a fucking like great time. It was a great time. And at the time, I wasn't even really worried about like writing songs. It
Right.
was all the it was the technicality of the shit, you know. And I was lucky enough to like have a mother who was really like adamant about reading. I read a lot when I was really young, and I think that, I mean, obviously that's going to translate into better writing habits, you
Right.
know? And then like couple that with I'm getting all of my like perfectionist shit passed down from Pain, because that dude was a perfectionist with his tattoos
Yo, yeah.
and his music. So like all of these things come together. Like that dude is showing me that if I'm gonna do anything that I have any respect for, I need to do it as well as I can and decide what makes these rhymes good and get better at that. And that was all I was worried about. There was no songwriting, or I didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? And at that point, my hip hop influence was like a lot of that juggalo shit. Even though I didn't like seek that out, that was my squad. Like my friends were on that shit. And then like Busta Rhymes, Swollen Members, Dilated Peoples, like a lot of
Right.
underground shit. Cunning Linguists, fucking Redman, and like I don't know, Tribe always fucking got me. Like there was a lot. And it wasn't like mainstream shit. So I was all into these like lyrical technicality, rap fast, like it,
Right.
yeah, which changed a little bit, but all of that came at the same time. The tattoos and the music, and like that place was like my home, man. That shop was my home. I lived above that shop for I think the better part of a year. I
Right.
was in that bitch all the time. Yeah,
As you should. As you
yeah.
should. Shout out to Prime P, man.
Prime.
Salute to you guys, man. I know I didn't know Payne well, but he told me the story at the tattoo shop in Staten Island about the shop in the studio.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to
That was
Prime, man. Prime, one of the hardest working people in the business, bro.
Prime's that dude, bro.
Yeah, for
Best,
real.
the best host there ever is. Like,
Oh man.
there's nobody that can MC a fucking rap show like that dude. That dude will host his fucking brains out.
Yeah, for real. For real.
Yup.
What do you think? What do you love more, bro? Do you love like the creativeness of making music, or do you love the creativeness of art and tattooing? What, or do they go hand in hand?
I think they do. I think they do different things for me, which is like, why it's why I can never choose. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I go
Yeah.
back and forth a lot. When I had my shop in Allentown, I modeled it after Center City. I had that recording studio in there, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I could never choose. And being in there, the tattoo aspect was running itself, and I was running super hot on music, and I spent a lot of time there doing music and not doing tattoos. And now it seems like that's kind of slowly flipped. Now the music is taking a back burner. A lot of that is circumstance, right? With the shop closing and the touring came to an end. A lot of things changed, right? Um, I think what tattooing does for me is it like allows me to kind of make something out of nothing. And like I just want the shit to look great. Like to me it's 95% aesthetic and 5% like meaning. The meaning, and that's just me as an artist. Obviously, there are works of art that are, levels and levels and levels deeper than my shallow ass pretty tattoos. But that's what I get out of it. Is I like to make these just wild looking things, and it's super cool that people like to wear it. That's awesome. There's a level of satisfaction to that, but it's different with music. With music, I feel like there's a better chance at a connection. It's a different form of art. You can like tell your story. You can walk people through a little episode of your life, or you can be braggadocious, or you can mourn somebody. I've written songs where I've mourned people, and like you know, I think music for me is more of a tool. It's like therapy in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
It's yeah, and the
Absolutely.
performance of it too is like there's nothing like that. The little exhilaration and like being able to like rehearse. It's almost, I mean, it's a performance. That's what it is. It's a performance. So for you to fine tune your performance, that's a whole different like discipline. You could compare it to like fine tuning your drawing skills maybe in a certain area, but it's just applied to a different arena. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely do, man. Like, we're gonna talk about our first shows, right? My first show, like, I was fortunate enough to open up for Danny Diablo at
Mm,
Pachangas.
I remember Pachangas. Yep, on right there on Ridge.
I performed for 1 minute and 37 seconds. That's it. It was just like a verse and like a hook, and was spent the first time I performed live, and was like dead. I was like, God, I got some work to do, you know.
Fuck.
And but
Mm-hmm.
life experience is your best teacher to that, and and you've seen me perform since. Like, that's
Oh
something
yeah,
I
yeah.
dove into. Like,
Right, right. You gotta
I'm
build that level of comfort to,
yeah, for
you know.
sure. I'm not gonna be the fat guy on the stage getting out of breath, not remembering his words, dying on stage. Nah, I'm not doing that.
Right, right, right. You definitely there's like a risk. There's like a risk to the performance aspect of it. It's like, man, you could go up there and make a fool of yourself. You could make a fool you could make a fool of yourself and not even know. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like we've all seen that. I'm sure
yeah,
we've done it. We've all done it
yeah.
too. And it's like, man, it's something about it, about being an artist and like uh having the like the foresight or and the having the consciousness to like be your own critic. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
man,
Like, but you have to put yourself out there. Like there's a saying, it's like you can't, and I'm slaughtering, I don't know, but the gist of it is you can never be a master without first being a fool. You
right.
know? Like if
I
you're not willing to be that fool, you will never be a master.
for
Ever.
sure.
You gotta fall on your face, man.
And that's like one thing that me and you are a lot alike in. Like I'm my own worst critic. You know what I mean? I'll
Yes.
go back and look at like somebody recorded live. I'm like, oh God, yeah, I can
Yeah.
do this shit so much better. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
And every
That's
song
why
isn't.
writing has taken me so long. It takes me so long to write for that very reason. It's like I can't even get past the fucking first couple bars until they're perfect. It's I can't like I mean, yeah, you know.
Yeah, I do.
You know.
Unfortunately, I do. I got a notebook full of 4 bars.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Mm-hmm. For sure, man.
What
It's
was
funny.
your first time rapping on stage like? We just talked about it.
We did. We cut it short because this is it, right? So,
Yeah.
um, we were talking about some of the folks from town, right? And we brought up
Mhm.
G Child, Gina
Right.
Morganelli. She's a friend of mine. I went to high school with her. And she knew Pain. I think probably before I knew Pain, but she was recording with them, doing shows kind of with Center City. And she got hooked up on the White Rapper show.
Right.
Um, Anybody who's interested in the goings on there can, I'm sure, go on YouTube and watch the whole shit. You know what I mean? It is what it
Yeah.
is. And then so when that got to airing, they decided that they were going to do a party for the finale, and they
Right.
had it at Southpaw, I think was the club. It was up in New York, and we rode up there with Gina. Payne was actually DJing that shit. And I've gone on here and I've looked it up uh, on YouTube before because I've told this story a couple times. Uh, and there's footage of Payne, and like I'm back there with a enormous fucking shirt, looking like a young fool. I think I was wearing one of the shop shirts, like this like red and black bowling shirt. Um, anyway, everybody that was on the show, they had a set, right? So
Right.
everybody was there to perform a couple songs, and um, some people some people were late or didn't show up or whatever, and Payne's spinning break beats, and people started getting on the stage and freestyle and spin whatever they got. Now, mind you, at this time, I had I had written a whole bunch. I had recorded some stuff at the shop. I wasn't very confident in what I was doing at all. No stage experience, right? And I'm just kind of hanging out up there while these guys are running a train on this mic. Some of it was good. I remember thinking some of it was ass, and like Payne at one point was like, "Yo, like go, go, go get that." You know what I mean? Get your shit off, right? And it was a crowd, man. It was bigger than a lot of the shows I've done since then, for sure. You know,
Yeah.
um, fucking the guy who was before me, who grabbed the mic before me, got the mic and was basically just like, "Where is my girlfriend, Alicia? Where are you? I can't," and just booze, eruption of booze, right?
Right.
So Payne,
Right.
so Payne gives me a little kick on the ass. It's like, "Dog, go." You know what I mean? So I go and I grab the fucking mic from the dude, and I had some bars. I'm sure I had 16, you know, and I just started rapping straight through the booze, man, straight through these booze, and those booze never fucking stopped. They booed straight through my shit. I
Right.
was done. Everybody was like, "I'm not touching that shit." You know what I mean? And that was it. It was over. There was no more freestyle shit. He spun a couple records. Dude came on and got the set. I was like, Cool. That was exhausting and humiliating and the perfect way to like pop your cherry. You know what I
You gotta
mean?
break your bones somewhere.
Got to, man. I was
Yeah.
shaking at the knees for sure, bro. You know?
That's funny. So,
It was a hell of a way to cut your teeth. You know?
yo, facts, for
Like
real.
fuck. Thrown in the fire, bro. You know?
Before we go any further, I want to thank you and the 6'1" Only guys for bringing me out to, I think it was Sporty's at the time, and we
Yeah.
shut that bitch down.
Yeah,
Well,
we threw some bangers in there, bro. Thank you for always crushing when you came, man.
there's such fun nights, bro, up in there, bro. Such fun nights.
Yeah, man. We set
Now,
that little dive on fire, bro.
bro, did we? Yes. Now that I seen you just light up, to smoke or not to smoke?
I mean, I'm always
I know.
smoking, bro. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
That
I
shit
don't
ain't
admit. Go ahead.
that shit ain't for everybody, but that's a part of you, a part of who you are. Most
Yeah.
definitely. If you know
Yeah.
Split, you know what you're getting with Split.
Yeah. It's not typically a surprise anymore. You know?
Right,
Yeah,
for
I'm
sure.
pretty stubborn about it, in all honesty.
Wait a second. Hold on. Not even to interrupt, man. Hold on. Ashley
Oh
wants
my
to know
God.
about the orangutan and the chicken.
The orangutan and the chicken. So it's a meme and it's a debate, right? And I'll just ask you the question, right?
Okay.
Would you rather fight an orangutan with a sword once a year or fight a chicken every time you get in the car? Every time
Man,
you get in your car.
man, listen. I seen what the chicken did to Peter Griffin.
That chicken was rough, bro.
Yo, the chicken used to whoop Peter Griffin's ass.
Yeah.
I'm
Over and
not trying to
over. And
fight, especially every time I get in the car. No, I'm not doing that.
every time it's inconvenient.
Yeah, bro, I got shit to do.
It's
Ashley,
too
you are
funny.
wild for that. I was not ready for that. But
That's
like,
too funny.
to be,
It's a long discussion. There's a lot of talk and a lot of questions surrounding this
yo,
meme and this.
I have some questions. Like, do I have any type of defense for said sword and
Well,
orangutan?
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not even clear who's got the sword. Like, at first, I was like, "Yo, I will definitely take the orangutan if you give me the sword." Like,
Right.
that's a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I mean, yeah, it's big and mean and it'll fuck you up, but a sword is a sword, right? But then it's like, yo, maybe this monkey has the sword, and that doesn't make sense at all. At that point, you gotta go with the chickens. But people don't consider this, right? Like, surely you're gonna wind up with chicken shit all in your car. It's gonna be a mess. It says you gotta fight the chicken. You can't just open the door. He's there for trouble, right? He's not just gonna leave.
The
Right?
chicken is there for the smoke, man.
He wants the heat, right? He wants his fade. So how many days can you go before you lose an eye? Even you gotta fight this fucker every time you get in the car.
What if the orangutan's cool and you don't even want to fight? He just want to be your
And you
friend.
know, I think he's there for the smoke too. It says you gotta fight him, but you only gotta do it once a year.
Yeah.
If you got the sword and you're nice, like, but then
You
if
could
he got the
train. You
sword
could train all year for that one fight.
all year, that's another thing I was saying. It's like, yo, like, come on, man. I'll kill a monkey once a year. Fuck it. I'll kill a monkey once a year to not have to deal with that fucking chicken every, like, go to the store. You go to the mall, you get some sneakers. That's a chicken on the way there and a chicken on the way back. It's not even fucking dinner time. Come on, man. Like,
Yo.
I can't, bro. I can't.
Yo, shout out to Ashley. I wasn't ready for that shit at all.
I wasn't either, but we've been discussing it, so.
Yo, shout out to my brother Dave. Said make me want fried chicken.
You could have multiple chickens a day. That's an argument for it too. You know,
Yeah, like I
that's
mean,
one of
how
the things my
feisty
man
is the
Shay said.
chicken?
I think you're rolling the dice, bro. I think you might get like an easy one day, and maybe he's riled up the next day. I don't know.
Yo, I get in and out of my car a lot.
Right.
I
Now
go to
you
work.
gotta wear long sleeves every day. You know what I mean? You gotta make sure he's not like pecking at your face.
I go to work. I come home from work. I go to the gym. I come home from the gym. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's 4 fights just in the daily routine.
Quick, before you know what happened. But now there's an argument there too, because like obviously you could just get really good at killing this chicken. Like probably only take you a couple days before you're just like reach over there, grab this shit. You know what I mean? Like grab him by the neck, give him a little, keep it moving. I don't know, but still, I mean that motherfucker's gonna take an eye before too long. If you make it a year without losing an eye, bro, like he's gonna fuck you up.
Yo, yeah, I want. You know what, Ashley? I don't want no parts of this shit. How about that? How about that? I don't want no type of disgruntled chicken. I don't want no pissed off orangutan.
Yeah, it's not such a straightforward choice, though.
No,
that's yeah.
I was expecting an easy answer. Sure, yeah, I'll fight, whatever. You know?
Yeah,
no.
Yeah. No. There's a lot. It's a lot to think about.
Do I gotta wear safety glasses? Am I allowed protection?
Yo, you fucking better, yo. Like,
all right. Back to yo. we was off track for a second.
Yeah,
for a second, and that we're gonna conclude the smoke or not the smoke because obviously you see where that took it to. It's always the smoke.
How could you have awesome conversations and deep thoughts about silly, impossible things without the smoke?
Right.
Yeah. Required.
We should tattoo a chicken fighting or an orangutan with a sword.
No. I want a tattoo of like a real crazy ornate sword and then like an orangutan hand severed. You know what I mean? That's you get that after 5 years of orangutan slaying. You get the respect tattoo.
Right. You earned your badge.
Oh, you fucking earned it, dog. 5 years?
Earn that badge. That's man, listen. That's a ton of fights. In either hand.
Mm-hmm.
So moving forward, Ashley, thank you. I don't want to jump into the van yet. We're not at the van yet.
We're not at the van yet. No.
You fell. You had a little bump in the road on the way to the van.
I would say it was a pretty serious bump in the road. Yeah. It's a good deal in my past now too. You know, I developed some beefs with some folks around town. You know, I was doing a lot of shows. I was talking to a lot of other rappers and like, you know, a bunch of people that I don't necessarily like, but you got to see a lot. And there's a lot of shit talk, right? Fucking early 20s too. I'm like 20 years old, 21 years old, acting a fucking fool. And went and got some charges over some fights, you know. And I did. I wound up in prison. I was in state prison for about 3 years, 38 months. Yeah, from 2009 to 2012. Yeah. It was rough. It was rough. I mean, it's not like a terrifying prison thing, like in the way that a lot of people think. At least the prison I was in wasn't. You know, I did actually 16 months in county in Allentown there before I was like convicted of anything. You know, I was just being held, and they were just drawing shit out. You know, there was it was complicated. It was
Right.
complicated, and I had already been in trouble at 19 over some weed shit. You know, so I had already had a felony for some weed, and when they hit me with intimidation of a witness and conspiracy to burglary, um, aggravated assault, all kind of stemming from this night of just raging. You know, I was raging on this kid. There was a guy. I'll kind of start from the beginning because I've been jumping around a lot, right? So I just kind of give the short version and I give a little longer version. There was I had beef with somebody who had attacked a friend of mine while I wasn't around, because he knew that guy was my friend. That's like, and I've been trying to, like, I wanted that fight and I could never get it. And then he went and gave it to somebody who didn't even want it because he was my boy. And I took hard offense to that. And I spent that whole night trying to figure out where the fuck this guy was so we could go fuck him up, right? Because I'm 20 years old. I'm borderline alcoholic at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Full of
Like,
rage.
full of fucking rage, dude. And I was in a walking ego. Like,
Right.
there's no doubt about it. I was like super feeling myself. You know, like I'm like I have my dream job in a fucking tattoo shop. Like, I'm about to start my fucking career. I'm really enjoying making music and I'm getting better at that all the time. Um, and then like I just let that shit out. Like, my ego was just go time, right? Um, so I went to where I thought this kid lived. We kicked the door in. We go inside, and somebody who's with me woke somebody up. It was like not the right house. Dude didn't even live there anymore. We just kind of busted into a stranger's house, and we turned around and left. Like, like he went upstairs and like woke somebody up, and like that was it. You know what I'm saying? He like come running back downstairs. I was looking around. I'm like, it's clear that this isn't a 25-year-old's house. Like, it's too neat in here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um. Anyway, so we bounced, and that was what they wound up getting me for the burglary, the conspiracy to burglary. Which is great that it wasn't a home invasion. Like, realistically, I got super lucky on that. Super lucky, because had that been his house, had we rolled in there and fucked somebody up in his own home, that would have been home invasion. That's like, whew, that's 10 years. And I met Crispy. Yeah. Met Crispy up there at SCI Mahanoy. JX 3515, I think. At a JX. Crispy, what were your letters? How'd your number start? He got an early number. Yeah, he found his way up there way before I did.
You right?
Yeah. Anyway, so then like I caught up to dude. Later that night, we left that place, right? We're like, where the fuck is he? I forget how we figured out where he was, but it was like a party, and we were hanging out over there. DE. Yep, that's an old number, bro. What? Fuck them numbers. I ain't never gonna see that number again. Neither are
Right.
you. Neither are you, Crispy. Fuck. Yeah, so we caught up with him at a party. We caught him coming out, getting in his car. It was a couple people there. It was reckless, bro. It was really, really reckless. Like, in the middle of the street in Quakertown, we wrecked the side of this guy's car. Like, residential shit, like residential ass neighborhood. We're like
I don't
pounding
fuck
on.
with Quick. I do not fuck with Quick. Every time we would get Joe Show would have us come out there to the Eagle to perform and shit. And that Quakertown police do not play.
Oh no, they don't. They don't. We didn't even get caught that night. We didn't get caught until like much later. He just knew what the fuck was up. You know what I mean? He knew who it was coming for him. You know, it wasn't like a secret. And then he called the cops, which is not what we really expected him to do. But it's what motherfuckers do. And look at, like, I don't even, I don't say any of this shit to glorify it, obviously,
Yeah.
right? Like, there's certainly a level of embarrassment I have now as a grown ass 35-year-old man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm not necessarily like, it's weird. Like, I'm not ashamed of standing up for myself, but I'm definitely ashamed of the ego that I had attached to all of that shit. Like, how out of my way I went to, like, satisfy whatever fucking ailments I had going on, you know? Clearly, like, that's a part of everybody's life at some point. For me,
Well,
most of my life. You
yeah,
know what I'm
same.
saying? Like, my
Same.
life is a constant, constantly trying to identify what the fuck is going on with me and remedy it, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think I did any of that before I went to prison.
Right.
Like when I went to prison, that's where all of that shit really started. Where it was like, man, like what are my choices going to lead to? And why am I making these choices? Like, what can I fucking do about it, right?
Right.
Because looking back on some choices, there's some embarrassing moments, man. And you could chalk it up to kids will be kids. You could chalk it up to, the city sucks, the schools suck, the parents suck, but like everybody's got choices to make.
For sure. I look
Right?
back at all the dumb shit that I've done in these
Yeah.
past 41 years. Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
And try to
Yeah.
figure out how to stay out of my own way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You work a program, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to. I have
Right.
to.
Right. A lot of people do. A lot of
The,
people
the,
do, and it does incredible shit for a lot of people.
the
But
judge got sick of seeing me. I got sick of overdosing. Like, be 100%
bro,
transparent. Like, there was a lot of life for me to live at 29 years old.
for sure. For sure. That shit
Shit saved my life.
saves a lot of lives, right? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. And so I'm like familiar with the program. I did get jammed up. I wound up in Keenan House for a little bit. And then I was sober for like a year voluntarily. I could have got away with enough, but I was just like, nah, I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna take this break at the very least. But I think the program always. I never wanted to work it, right? Because, I did the minimum. I should say I did the minimum. There was definitely ego attached to not even wanting to do the program, as though I'm better than somebody with like hard fucking drug problems who really can't get right. Like they need this more than me. I'm not. All of that shit, that bullshit in your fucking head, right? But the writing part always fascinated me because I do like to write, and even writing, you know what I mean? I'm doing whatever I want in this program, and this writing shit down is like that changes. Like write down some of these things that you have in your head that you did in the past just to see if you look at them different, because I guarantee you will. And the more time that goes by, sit down and write that shit down. Make yourself remember little details. Make yourself question what the fuck you were actually thinking or doing, or like love that. I love looking inward, because that shit has been more rewarding to me than anything lately.
Most definitely. Like, what kind of writer I am. So like, imagine what that's like. You know what I mean? Like, you just stuff shit away for so long, and then you start, I hate the cliche, but like it's cutting the layers off an onion. You know what I mean? Your ass is gonna be crying by the time it's done.
Yup. You ready to learn something about yourself. You want to write it.
So we're gonna fast forward. You pack up everything.
Yeah.
Let's get to it.
Okay, so
Fantastic Voyage.
The Fantastic Voyage. I guess you'd have to start kind of when COVID started to take place, right? So I had a tour booked. I was gonna go on the road and do maybe a dozen shows, kind of along the same tour path I've been taking with Camp and Lib in the past. You know, I spent some years out traveling with him and made some good relationships, and he had actually helped put that together. And I was booking shops, so the plan was I'd roll into town. I would do a 3-day guest spot at a tattoo shop. I would have a show, and then I'd hit the road. I'd move on to the next town. But I wanted to do tattoos and a set, and I was going to do this Centennial 420 tour thing. That wound up getting canceled because it was scheduled for April of 2020, and we all know what the fuck was going on then, right? The shop I've been running for 6 years, I closed that. You know, it was a couple weeks, I think, that went by, and man, was I fucked up in the head over that, over the uncertainty and the panic, and you know, I was very anxious. I was drunk a lot, a lot, you know, and I was kind of considering closing the shop down instead of going into debt over it. When it started to be like, I don't know how long this is going to last, what's coming, and you know, and like I was saying before, like running that shop, it took a lot of time away from me, like being creative. Like I can't focus. I can't get myself to that zone that we were talking about, where like you can just let it flow instead of forcing shit, you know?
Right.
So I was kind of kicking the idea of closing it down, and then one of my later apprentices, Caitlin Espinal, she came on board. I taught her how to tattoo. She was with me for 5 years, 6 years, the whole time that place was open. She decided she was gonna leave. She wanted to move to Tennessee, be closer to her family. She was gonna bop down there and see some shops, and she was going to be on her way. And that was kind of like the icing on the cake for me. It was like, okay, I'm definitely closing this shit down. She helped me run that place a lot. You know, she turned out to be an incredible friend. I saw her in Knoxville out here on the road. But so I was in really weird headspace when COVID hit, and I shut it all down. I kind of separated myself from a lot. There were no more shows. You know, there was a time, you know, some years back where I was throwing 2 shows a month in town. You know what I'm saying? And
for sure,
rocked the shit out of that. And all that shit was dying out. It all was dying out. Right.
Right.
And I started to be okay with that. I was like, okay, I'm only going to put the things back on my plate that like I want to dedicate time to. These things, I got to start doing things for me, and that kind of planted the seed of less is more, right? I sold so much shit when I closed the shop. I was like, I don't even want to keep this fucking shit. You know what I mean? Like I don't even want none of this. Like I'm just letting shit go left and right, and that shit started feeling good, right? It was like a satisfying thing. So cut to the things are starting to open back up in Pennsylvania. I go and I work for a friend in Boyertown, Harry's Tattoo. I worked out there for a little while, probably about 6 months, before I was like, hey, I got to figure out what I'm going to do. If I'm going to like get a place to live and put roots down out here. I was renting from Harry, like part of his, he's got like a big farmhouse, and he had an in-law suite, and I was just like, I just rented. He let me work on the van there. So the van comes about because I start getting really frustrated with looking for a place to live. I was trying to buy a house. I had some bread, like, but independent contractor, you know, paid stub keeping. The banks hate that shit. It was a pain in the ass, and the housing market was going crazy. And this van shit kind of started as a joke. Like, it started as a fantasy where I'm just like watching these people on YouTube, like, you know, rolling out and camping, and it should look like a blast. I was like, oh fuck. And then I got less and less thrilled looking for a place. I'm talking months. I'm trying, and then I even gave up on buying. I was like, I just want to fucking rent a place that'll be cool with my dog. That's not crazy. You know what I'm saying? And like, that went very poorly. I don't really remember the point where I was just like, I want to just grab my fucking balls and do this. But I started watching people building their vans on YouTube, watching people how they're putting it together, and like very much like with rapping. You know what I mean? Like, to take it back to that, it's like watching a bunch of people do this. Some people you're like, whoa, this dude fucking knows what he's doing. I'm like impressed with that, you know? I want to try to do that because it looks fun. And then you watch other people and you're like, they're not doing it right. I could do better than that. I wish I could tell him to do it like this instead, and it would, you know what I mean? And I just have this brain that gets obsessed sometimes. And eventually I found myself looking at vans and I was like, this is like totally doable. I could finance a van easy. You know what I'm saying? And then like I could use cash to furnish the shit. And that I don't need to fucking you know, a $150,000 loan, $200,000 loan for a home. I don't need to get the banks involved. This shit seems way easier. So it was kind of like, it was like out of frustration, and then out of like, yo, I could do this and have even less shit, because getting rid of all that shit I got rid of felt pretty good. And it's like I could do some of this YouTube shit I'm watching, and it kind of all just fucking like, it just snowballed into this thing there where I thought like, man, I could have my little tour for as long as I want. I could make it up as I go. I could see anything I want to see, you know?
Right.
I'm lucky enough to have put the time in to like be a good tattooer where I could kind of roll into town where there's an empty seat, and I have a portfolio where I'm lucky enough to like be able to work at most places. I can find a place in town that'll sit me down, you know? And I just work it. I go into town and I tell people I'm available, and it's like most people don't even have time. Like, this guy's available now. Sit down. Oh, look. Oh, and he's pretty dope. Cool. I fill that time up pretty quick. You know, I did good in Florida. I did good in Knoxville. I would have done good in Logan.
We could. I guess that's a great segue. We could dive into
good
your
transition.
Experience. Your experience on the road has been good up until we got to Logan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's always ups and downs, right? As far as the tattooing goes, the shop in Logan was, man, it was unfortunate. It was some unfortunate circumstances, man. So the guy I had met the owner of that shop, doing shows out near Salt Lake, up in Logan, and it was cool to fucking find another tattooer on the road. He finds out I'm a tattooer, and we get to talking all that shit. And he's a cool guy, whatever. And we've been talking about a guest spot for probably 6 years. I was gonna go up there when I had my tour booked in April of 20. Canceled, never happened. So I was like, yeah, I'm getting around. I'm coming up there, right? So I finished in Knoxville. I go up there. Everything's cool for a couple days. Only like, shop's slow. Not the end of the world. Like, I'm running ads. I'm getting a lot of consultations through Instagram. I'm letting people know I'm out here, right? And I'm getting some hits, and it's cool for a couple days. But it's like kind of clear to me that like man, maybe this guy bullshitted me a little bit about how busy he is, but
Right.
no big deal. Whatever. I could drum up the business, you know. So I'm sleeping in the van. I'm over by his crib. It's cool. I'm spending pretty much all day and night with this guy. I don't really know anybody else up there. A few people, you know. Um, and then the third day, I'm doing a tattoo at the shop. He disappears, and he comes back, and he's like, kind of slurring a little bit. You know what I mean? And he's kind of a pothead, like I'm a pothead. So I wasn't thinking too much of it. And then like the night goes on, and he's getting a little sloppier, and he's a little more forgetful. And it's like I know what I'm looking at. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really want to believe it or start putting blame on him. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of was just talking shit to him that first night. You know what I mean? He was getting real forgetful. I'm making fun of him because he's asking me shit. I'm letting him know that I see something's up without accusing him of being fucked up. You know what I
Right.
mean? But I think I did even. I think I was even like, man, you're fucked up right now. Like, so you know I see it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then, but then not being an asshole, kind of trying to just go about the day, whatever. I was doing a tattoo that night too, whatever. I kind of cold shoulder him. I blow him off for the rest of the night after we leave the shop. I'm like, maybe we talk about it tomorrow. Maybe you won't be all fucking wasted, right? And I can kind of have the serious talk with him when he's sober. And then the morning come around, and he's kind of fucked up again, and he's getting worse and worse as the day goes on. And I had a tattoo to do. He had a consultation. And it was like it was the worst thing I'd seen. It was really like where I was like, I'm leaving after tonight. Like I made my mind up when I watched how he was talking to this client, who he like had a whole little chat with her, had her fill out paperwork, told her he needed a deposit. He goes, she's like, okay, I'm gonna go to the ATM, or I don't know, maybe just out to her car. She was gone for like a couple minutes, and she comes back in, and he had no recollection of any of it. Started a brand new conversation with this woman, and I was like,
oh yeah, gotta go.
I was like, motherfucker, man. So I had a tattoo that day too. As I was doing my tattoo, I noticed this guy's just kind of missing again. I'm like, I don't know where the fuck this dude is, right? I finish up my tattoo, cleaning up. I see that he's passed out in the back. I finish, I get the client out. I see he's fucking assed out there, and I just was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna just start packing my fucking shit. And that's what I fucking did, man. I packed my shit up and bounced. I put him on blast. I since took those posts down. You know what I mean? He saw him. He called me. He finally admitted he was fucked up because I was just calling him out straight up before he was knocked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I mean, look, dude, I don't know what it is about an addict, a user who like they think they're doing a good job of hiding it. We think that sometimes, right? Where it's like,
Yeah.
like
Oh, sure.
motherfuckers don't, like
Sure.
motherfuckers don't know what it like what a high person is. Like I
I
don't know.
remember having this conversation with my wife, and she is such a saint.
Yeah.
And I was like, I swear to God, nobody knew I was high ever. And she was like, you were falling down in public, damn near pissing yourself. How?
Yeah.
Like, no, bro, no.
Yeah. What makes you think that? What makes you think you
Right?
just like got over it? You're the high one, motherfucker.
Oh,
You think you know better than me? Like I'm telling you, I can see you're high. You're telling me no, you can't. What? Goofy, man. Yeah. So I do kind of feel a little. In hindsight, I wish I had left different. I wish I had locked his door or something, because I did. I was like tried to wake him up to get him to follow me to lock the door, and he like blew me. It couldn't get him up. I left him right there. I was like, well, like you're not doing me no fucking favors, and so I'm not
Sometimes you gotta leave people right where they're at, bro.
right where I fucking found him. And I get the reason I have a little bit of guilt associated with that is because I think that, well, I know that the police got involved. Somebody, in my head, this is how it happened. All I know is the cops got involved. I talked to him. I talked to him like the next morning, and he was like, yo, why'd you call the cops on me? I was like, why would I call the cops on you? Like, I got my money from the tattoos I made. Like, I got my equipment. You didn't take nothing from me but time, and like, and you know, you lost a lot of respect. Obviously, you know, I fucking wish you well. You should get some help. You should apologize to these fucking clients of your. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You should apologize to me for lying. I got all that out of him eventually, finally, but the cops did pick him up. So the best I can figure is that somebody walked into that shop and didn't see anybody out front and went looking for somebody and probably found him right where I left him, blacked out, nodded at his fucking desk in the back, and probably called 911. Like, what would a normal person do? What would a normal person do, right? Like, hey, are you awake? Hey, man. I think there might be a dead guy here. Like,
and yo, like, be clear, like that might be the best thing that could have happened to him.
Straight up, it was like, hey, I mean, I didn't do that to you, bro. That's right, like, yeah, sure. That's what I told him. It's like, hey, I'm sorry that happened, but I didn't do that to you. I was trying to get out with as much of my time as I could, and I don't need to hear your bullshit. I got shit to do, man. Like, good luck. Yeah, peace, man. Fuck.
So
it's a bummer.
So when you coming back up this way?
I'll be in Pennsylvania in January for sure. I don't have anything booked in December. I've been basically trying to do like one stop a month, and I'll be at a stop for 2 to 3 weeks. I don't want anything less than 2 weeks in between. You know, like I'm taking 2 weeks off, period, in between these stops because, you know, I'm trying to make this show as well. Like, I'm trying to edit Vagabond as I'm doing all this, right? So I need that time to.
4 episodes out now of Vagabond on YouTube, man. What is the YouTube link?
The channel is Split Does Work. So if you go youtube.com/C/Split Does Work and you'll find me, or you could just go to splitdoeswork.com anytime. The first thing you'll see on that page is the latest episode. If there's one scheduled to uploaded to release, it'll be the placeholder for the new one, and you'll be able to see where it comes out. You can set a reminder on YouTube. It's just dope. So yeah, holler. I said prescribe. Subscribe to my YouTube. Split Does Work. All my socials are Split Does Work. You want to send me money on Venmo or Cash App? That shit is Split Does Work.
Split Does Work. Like, it's all Split Does Work.
That's it. It's yeah. So, yeah. So you asked me when I'll be back. I'll be back in January for sure. I'm gonna poke around. I'm gonna figure out what shop I'm gonna be at too. I'm definitely getting some work rolling in January. I was saying I don't have anywhere to be in December. So it might be that I'm back for the holidays. I don't necessarily want to be super, super far, like from home in cold places. I don't want to be broke down or stuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be okay regardless, but I still want to avoid that. So we'll see what the weather's like. I might just fucking go south. I don't know. You know, that's the beauty of it. It's the beauty of it. Like when I'm done here,
I'm going where the warm weather is, kids.
Right. Honestly, I don't have shit to do until February. I'll be in Richmond, Virginia, at this place, Synergy Tattoos down there. So really anything could happen between now and then. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna rock my time here in Nevada. I'll be tattooing in Carson City, Nevada, at a spot called Hooligans Inc. You can go to splitdoeswork.com and find all this info. I'll be there the 8th to the 22nd, maybe longer. It might turn into 3 weeks. We'll see how it goes. But I'm here early now, and I'm just kicking it with fam. Like, yeah. Honestly, I'm so fucking glad I left. Like, I'm so glad I got the fuck out of there. It's like, it just gives me. I'm not, bro. Like, I was for sure, but now I'm here, and it's like, you know, there's people I fucking love around here. So I'm just getting to spend extra time with them. So, you know, that's dope.
Super dope. Listen, man, I've done asked you all the questions tonight, which is, no, this is not an interview. This is my guy. We're just having a conversation. I like how we said we'll keep it to 35, 45 minutes. Not even
fuck
close.
That timer, dog.
Fuck that timer.
Yeah, I had an extra cup of coffee today too, so you got me. you got me while I'm a little wound up. I've been trying to counter it a little, but
counteracting. Is there anything you want to ask me before we get out of here? I always ask the people that I have on, since I ask all the questions during the show. Is there anything you want to ask me before we go?
Yes. How are you? How do you feel?
I'm good, man.
Is there anything I can do for you? Is there anything?
I'm good. You know, okay. As long as I stay out of my own way.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. It makes totally. Yeah.
As long as I stay out of my own way.
Yeah.
I'm good. You know, God willing, my wife's good. My kids are good. You know, my daughter is super artistic. I love it. My son is super disciplined. I love that. You know what I mean? Like, they're teenagers. Teenagers are, it could be tricky, I think. But like for a 19 and a 17, about to be 18-year-old, I got it pretty easy. You know?
Yeah.
And for that, I'm
That's
fortunate.
Awesome, bro.
I am going to need, you know, I've always wanted a split piece. And we've been talking about this since we've been performing together. And then done fucking ran up out of town.
Yo, man, I'm doing these really fun skulls lately, and I'm trying to sell them to everybody because I just love doing them, man. I love them.
I'm with it, bro.
But yeah, I got drawings too, bro. So I mean, if you don't know what you want, if you just want something,
the principle of it is you could tattoo Split Does Work on me. You know what I mean? Like, it's the principle. Yeah, but it's the principle of you know what I mean? You're my brother. You doing it. You know what I mean? And that's what it comes down
to. Fuck yeah, man. Well, I got plenty of fun shit to pick from, bro. And I will definitely be in the area January something at the latest, maybe in December. Fucking he wants a pickle for Wojo. Oh, the prison homie. Yeah. That would be a fun tattoo. I got you, Crispy. Holler at me. Holler at me. I gotta get a shop sorted out so I can start penciling you guys in. You know,
right?
I'd love to see you when I'm back, bro.
Most definitely, bro. Most definitely. I appreciate the fact that you just asked me how I'm doing. Most people don't give a fuck, and not just me in general, just in everyday life. Most people are so self-consumed and worry about themselves that they're not worried about the next person.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like to think that I got myself covered, and that puts you in a position to ask that question, right?
Yeah.
Like, how you doing doesn't mean shit if I'm not doing okay.
Right, for sure.
I got me covered, so you know, I try to ask that more now.
You know? Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Listen, I appreciate you coming on, my brother. It's much love always.
I appreciate you having me, G, man. Yeah. It's a good talk. It's a good talk. We broke an hour, bro.
Yeah. Of just shooting the breeze. I love it.
Hell yeah.
I love it, man. Listen, if you ain't just tuned in, splitdoeswork.com. Split does work on all his IG, on his socials, his Cash App, his Venmo. It's all Split does work.
Send
you know
it.
what I mean?
Send,
His OnlyFans is Split does work.
Split does work, bro. Yep. Imagine
Listen,
it's me drawing in my underwear in the van.
in the van. Listen, man, I appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. Thank you for coming on, my brother. I'm gonna end the show, but stick around. Don't exit out yet.
All right, you got it.
Thank y'all
Thank
for
you,
tuning in.
everybody.
Next Wednesday, we'll be back with a great guest. Peace.